Welcome. Today, a little bit about an emotional pattern that maybe many of you are holding. A pattern that has helplessness, anger, frustration in it. What I've learned working with myself and my clients that come, for example, in a distressed state with emotions of feeling stuck, feeling not able to move on from a situation or resolve situation or understand situation. It's kind of a freeze mode, but not from fear so much, but freeze mode from confusion and feeling helpless, like a little child almost. And then when I look at it deeper, it just kind of unravels into a few other emotions that are connected to that helplessness. So that's why I come to you in this video. I'm sure many of us, if not all, during our life felt the moments where we are kind of struggling with taking action, or we're struggling because we're feeling so much emotions that we're almost paralyzed in a way, unable to take action, feel helpless due to the certain situation. And what I found is that behind that helplessness is anger, and that this pattern of emotional congestion, emotional stuckness was created in childhood, most likely, right? Because imagine if you're a child and you want something all of a sudden, if it's a toy, if it's going to the park, if it's being with friends, whatever it is, and you're not getting it. So the parents are saying, no, this is not the time for it, you're not getting it. It could be something you wanted to do or say, express, that it was not allowed. You were not allowed to be yourself, pretty much. And then you were met with either criticism or just block, saying, no, this is not the time. You cannot have that. You cannot do that. This is not okay, right? Then you got angry inside, because why am I not allowed to do that? Why are you stopping me? And so after that, there's a frustration connected to that. And then there's feeling of helplessness. And children very often cry at this point. So that emotional pattern kind of gets baked into our consciousness, into our body, into our system as few emotions that are connected together, like a emotional pattern, I call it. And so when it's just the system holds it, and in a similar situation where for example, life does not go the way we want, when, for example, we're feeling so much overwhelmed of the emotions that we're almost feeling helpless because we don't understand it. Just like the child did not understand why he couldn't, why it wasn't allowed, why he or she wasn't able to be herself and do what she wants. So it's almost like that freedom was taken away, right? And that helplessness in that situation kind of got created. And so when you're a grown-up, you actually take all those patterns, emotional patterns, and blockages from childhood, and they don't really grow up with you. So they live still in your system, in your body, in your emotions, thoughts, and programs, the way in the way that you see the world, that you see yourself, that you see others. Those patterns stay with you and they don't grow up. So for example, in a similar situation where the life presents to you something, a life situation, and you're getting really frustrated with another person, with an event, with something that you need to do and you can't, and you don't understand why, but you feel that you're blocked. Well, it's not that you are blocked. It's only that that pattern became triggered. And so you feel the same emotions than that 5-year-old felt or 7-year-old felt, right? Because that pattern, that dynamic does not grow up. So you have that 7-year-old within you, and he or she is feeling all those emotions. So now, okay, so now we know that it's just energy, it's just patterns, it's just something that we created as our perspective. So what to do about it, right? So I always teach, I always share, when it comes to emotions, allow yourself to feel them. And what I found that in that pattern, when you have the feeling of helplessness, like I said, there is or could be, not necessarily because there are different patterns, but there could be a lot of anger behind it. And so we usually don't feel that anger when the life presents that situation to us. We don't have to feel the anger. We might feel frustration and helplessness, and very often so much of that energy that we might actually cry, and we don't know why we're crying or we want to cry. It's almost like there's no energy to feel the anger that's behind it. We can't even recognize that it's the anger sometimes, even though the energy is moving and we feel headache and chest is our chest wants to jump out of our skin, and it's just like panic, it's just frustration, it's all this, right? Then what we need to do is actually surrender to the emotions. So first feel into your body and have an intention to see what that energy is, what is causing this. So surrender to your emotions, tune into your body, surrender to your emotions. So you can almost say to yourself, I am surrendering to the emotions that I'm feeling in my body, and just kind of be with it. And notice how they shift, because there's gonna be one emotion that's gonna come up, and it could be frustration or helplessness, and it's okay. And if you need to cry. Doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. We all need to feel and express our emotions, and the best way to do it is with yourself, right? And so after that, notice what comes after that helplessness, because very often there's anger, and that anger needs to be felt, and it can be very dynamic in our system. So as you sit with it, just allow it to be. Breathe. Don't try to breathe it out of your body, more breathe into your body to support yourself. Try to stay in your tummy, in your trunk, in your chest. Don't go to the head, don't go to the mind making stories, right? And just breathe through it and see what comes after. After the anger, there might be sadness or some other emotion. But very often, when you start feeling anger and you feel it, the body all of a sudden feels a relaxation, like a release came, and the body could let go of that pent-up energy that you've been holding for many years. And what I've noticed is that with that pattern of frustration, helplessness, and anger, what happens after you release anger, there's actually empowerment that comes in with that peace, with that release. It's like, oh, now I can let it go. And all of a sudden, there's more energy within the body, because remember, energy does not disappear. Energy can only transform. So if you have heavier emotions within your body that are kind of sitting there, you might be actually feeling physically tired, mentally tired, easily triggered. That's all your emotions that are within you, or it could be, right? So when you release anger and that peace comes in, all of a sudden the empowerment comes in. It's almost like a new energy can flood your body, and you're like, wow, I'm okay. I have options that I couldn't think before. Because while you're in that pattern is creating a perspective that you view the life with. And that helplessness is the feeling of stuckness, is the feeling of they're against me. They're not allowing me to do something. Because of them, I cannot, right? So it could be government, it could be spouse or children even. It could be work, it could be them. It's the outside world, right? That is somehow we're feeling against us and is keeping us stuck. But after releasing that pattern, after releasing those emotions, then there comes a different understanding, a fresh energy, where you all of a sudden feel that, like I said, relaxation and empowerment, that masculine energy of I am able, I can, no one is stopping me. So I hope that this was helpful for you. My advice is always stay with your emotions, allow yourself to feel them, notice them, notice how are they connected, and be curious about where it's coming from, where did I feel it in the past. And you'll find very often that you maybe felt it 5 years ago, and you felt it when you were 25, and you felt it when you were 14, and then it comes to 3 to 7-year-old, because that's where most of the patterns get created, between 0 and 8. So good luck with working on your emotions and with feeling of helplessness against anything. Allow yourself to feel it. If there's anger behind it, even better, because then that dynamic energy will turn into more empowerment, which I wish for you from the bottom of my heart. Till the next time.